Underwood. Thin ice!
So I can't knock down a triple here. Woo, okay. I didn't even miss a shot this entire time, so take that. This better be good for the team.
Oh,
I thought for sure.
there it is. Boom! Yes!
Line of Basketball Podcast, episode 247, January 29th. Potentially, no, we'll probably do on Friday. Anyway, I was going to say last episode of January, but probably not. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Illinois coming off of a Sunday win. Some people may be asking if the game was at 11 a.m., would it have been a win? It remains to be seen. But either way, Illinois came out in this game and took it to Northwestern in the first half. Second half's a different story, but we can get there. But a win is a win at this point.
Yeah, it's one that Illinois needed coming off 2 losses, losing 3 of the last 4. It kind of sucks looking at the box scores and seeing that they won by 9 when they started off like 20-5 to start the game. Gave up 53 points in the second half. Brad chalked that up to the players just relaxing and instead of playing the clock, they were still playing the game, which is a little weird, but he talked about getting shots up early in the shot clock when it was unnecessary, things like that. Stupid turnover by Will Riley on the inbounds play made this game a little bit closer than what it needed to be, but pretty dominant win, minus looking at the box score at the end by Illinois this game. So,
well, if you want to look at something that I would call very positive, it would be that Illinois gave up 41 points in the first 30 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
33 in the final 10. That's just
that's tough.
Brutal.
Yeah.
But they did a really good job against Martinelli. 17 points on 7 of 19 shooting. Morez Johnson played a big role there. Barnheiser was a non-factor, 1 for 7 from the field, had 3 points.
Apparently still fighting something. I think he sat most of the second half, or if not all the second half.
They played defense without fouling, I would say. Only called for 10 fouls, including 3 on Morez and 3 on Will Riley. Boswell, White, and KJ all had 0 fouls. Northwestern, this is what this matchup should look like, I think. Maybe not, being up 20 at the half, but I think it's pretty clear that Illinois is better than them. And they showed it. Obviously, a 9-point win on paper doesn't look as good, but it didn't affect the metrics. It didn't really hurt Illinois in that way. And at this point, when Illinois had lost 3 of 4, you have to accept the win, unfortunately, right? Accept the 9-point win.
Yeah, and I mean, I think maybe, be happy with how they came out this game. I mean, guys were on the floor right off the bat. They killed Northwestern on rebounds, 50-27. Illinois had 21 offensive rebounds in this game. So I'm sure Brad's been hammering it the last 2 days of practice before this game, that rebounds are what matter. And, they stepped up. And Morez, who came off a shaky game, was definitely better in this game. And you talked about about the fouls. I think the refs kind of let this game flow. They weren't calling a whole lot. It reminded me of the last game against Northwestern, except Illinois kind of got punched in the face with it. And this time Illinois did the punching. So it was good to see the guys come out and be physical and attack the ball no matter where it was. So, and you had that from everybody, I think, this game.
Yep.
I'm ready. Let's go. How about the crowd? How's
Woo!
the crowd, Ethan?
They're bringing it. The Orange Crush always brings it. I mean, you talk about the best student sections in the country. Woo, right at the top of the list, huh? What fucking year is this? 2005? Jesus.
Yeah, I think the discourse on Twitter has kind of hit the point where you were 2 years ago, maybe even before that. I will say that Brad was very excited about the Orange Crush. He said, quote, "I thought our crowd today was phenomenal and the Orange Crush was going. Maybe that had something to do with the juice our guys had. When I came this morning for shoot around and see students sitting outside, literally the hair on my neck stands up. Then I go home and change, and 30 minutes later, I see a line around the corner. I say a prayer because I know I am the most blessed coach in America that gets to play in front of these great students and great fans. So thank you all for that." I mean, obviously, Brad doesn't listen to stuff he says, but he made it a point to say something about the Orange Crush. So
yeah, I just don't think people agree with that.
I think large majority that would disagree with that. And again, we've talked about, how the, place is set up now kind of affects that. You got a bunch of students up in the 200 sections now, but the people that are down there need to be a little bit more into it. I would agree.
Yeah, I'll just roll the tape from this is something that's finally being talked about by people, and this is from we're on episode 247 right now. This is from episode 141. This is January 23rd of 2023, after Illinois got just destroyed from start to finish against Indiana in Champaign. And if you remember, of course, Zachary Perrin, I believe, came in for like a minute in that game, and people were like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. So I'll roll the tape here.
Illinois fumbles against Ohio State. If that will make you guys feel better.
Good teaser. Okay. The Orange Crush is an absolute shell of what it once was. Okay. You look back on that fateful December night. It might have been November. It was probably November. Wake Forest, Illinois, 2004. And you could just tell. You watched that on YouTube. You're about to take a shot at me.
I know you didn't see it live.
Well, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
You look back at that game right there. It's just different. I think one factor is the layout of the SFC absolutely blows in comparison to the Assembly Hall. I think that makes it look so much different because, it just looks on TV, especially.
I think that the building of the suites and then the other ones, it moves the main crowd, the diehard fans, way up high, while the guys drinking beer and eating food don't really care about the game.
It's the layout sucks. But also, I think the student section sucks. Like these guys,
it was the first game back. They were fatigued from Christmas break.
Don't care.
Mental and physical fatigue. Ask Brad.
Here's where this all came about. Number one, I don't think it's being talked about enough on the internet in Illini circles. Can we not talk about how our student section literally sucks now? I think we need to discuss that. And I think one of the most important parts of a student section is the layout around the floor, which Illinois does not have anymore. It sucks. It looks terrible on TV. It looks terrible in every way. Number two, I got to see all these nerds and losers with their arms crossed and silent when it's 9-4 Indiana. Are you shitting me? 9-4, and they've pretty much given up, and they're all like this, looking around at each other. Oh, it's 9-4. What the heck? I mean, what is that? What is that? Complete. Everybody in the crowd in the Orange Crush died when it was 9-4. Ridiculous. Number three, their chants absolutely suck. No intelligence, no thought, no real. I mean, you talk about like TV shows that are like really well written. You can tell, like The Sopranos. There you go.
I must have some references to that during the episode.
But
I think you were on that like all year
of their
tough,
chants or whatever you want to call it, which I know everybody does this, but they suck. And then you start bitching at me over that, which that's fine. I didn't include that in the clip, obviously.
Good work.
So I think a lot of these things that are being said are true. And the biggest problem that I see with it is that these motherfuckers cannot take any criticism. I mean, Jesus Christ, how soft is this generation?
It's true.
No criticism at all can be taken. Like there's a favoritism thing. I didn't know about all the captain stuff. Whoa! I didn't know about all the captain stuff that was going on. Obviously, there's a lot of issues here, and I think a lot of people agree with the side that says the student section has to be better. You need to be jumping the entire game, have better chance, do better stuff. I mean, it's not that hard to be into a basketball game for 2 hours. And guess what? Where the program is right now is it has been relevant long enough to where there's no excuse at all to not have some sort of home court advantage. Because Purdue has that, no doubt. Duke has that. You could name a lot of other schools that have that, and Illinois doesn't have that, but Illinois should have that. They should have that.
I'm not saying that it doesn't get loud in there. It's just when it goes quiet, it is super quiet. And I haven't been to a game this year, so I don't know. Jay says Crush is bad. Said this also for years. I watched the early 2000s, night and day difference. Yeah, and they've broke up, where kids sit. I did see one guy say that to move the upper kids down behind the basket would be a great idea. That way that's all flooded with Orange Crush instead of, they literally just sit the ones that don't get there early enough up in the stands with everybody else. So what kind of chants would you like to hear, Ethan? Says Bootzilla.
Do they even do chants now? That's almost like, I don't know. I feel like doing the O thing the entire game would be good. Right?
Oh, they do this.
I can't hear it. How about some chants towards the other team that are unique and good?
Brady says, I think we need a self-proclaimed manager on the episode for further discussion.
It says the self-proclaimed manager.
Who is that? Kilton?
I don't think it's him anymore. That guy, you talk about that.
He retweeted about the girls' game, which is insane to me. But
see, these people, this generation, telling you, they can't handle criticism. They can't handle the heat.
Yeah,
they can't take it. I don't get it. It's got to be better.
I don't know. Brad says it's great. So, what do you think Brad would think if he was here during 04, 05?
Oh my God, it would be like a completely different level.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why did it take people so long to start saying things? 2 home losses in a row, I guess. And then was it 2 in a row?
What?
I don't know.
The Illinois lost?
Well, the 2 in a row at home.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 2 straight home losses. And then everyone starts freaking out about this, even though they should have been talking about it, years ago, possibly. Nobody outside of Twitter has been saying anything about it, and it's unfortunate. And I'd hate to, go to war with the Orange Crush, but it's being considered, no doubt. I'll have to talk with some other people that have been critical online and see what their thoughts are, and maybe, do something about it. I don't know.
You guys can band together and make them better.
I don't know why they're not better. You're going to U of I. Okay. I don't want to scream. Nobody wants to hear that. But this motherfucking chicken nuggets thing is so fucking annoying. It is so fucking annoying. These students are going to the University of Illinois. Oh, yeah, it's so fun to have free chicken nuggets. Who gives a fuck? You think any of those fans at all would be chanting during the opposing free throws in the way that they are without the chicken nuggets thing? Maybe not. Probably not.
Probably not.
Would they even care? Would they even know that the game is going on, or would they be on their fucking phones?
Are they actually loud if they make the first one? I don't know if they've ever been actually loud.
Might have to
if
test
the first
that
one
theory.
goes in.
Might have to test that theory. And also, let's throw this out there. I am definitely on my phone too much during the watch parties. I own that, but I'm not at the game. If I were at the game, I would not be on my phone, guaranteed. So before anybody tries that bullshit, fucking wrong. And for a game like the one on Sunday, it's not a good test for the theory. I think a big test for the theory will be the Purdue game at the end of the year, which I think they'll get up for maybe. But how about UCLA on February 11th? UCLA is a pretty good team, or Michigan State. They better be up during the Michigan State game. You got to bring it
assume they will.
every single game. Like, they are lucky that they're going to U of I right now as opposed to, 8 years ago. So it's just the chicken nuggets thing is so annoying. And the most annoying thing about it really is the announcers. Like, it's the first time they've ever heard it, and they just discovered land or something that, oh my God, they get chicken nuggets. Who gives a shit? It's just so annoying.
Problem is the seats 100 level behind the basket are prohibitive, expensive. Crush are not payers, and talking thousands per seat. Don't you think that Illinois has enough money by now? Just why don't we make State Farm Center more of a home court advantage?
Maybe that's why we need to start
care about the kids a little bit more, huh?
Maybe we need to start something then.
Care about the kids that just want some free nuggets.
I mean, what's his face? Whitman has done a good job, but my God, this could definitely be improved.
It's true. I don't disagree, but I don't think there's anything you can do about it. Sit here and bitch
that's
about it, I
the
guess.
wrong attitude, sir.
All right. You done ranting? You want to
It's
talk
nice.
about the game again?
It's nice that people agreed with me finally on this.
Yeah, I'm sure that you're just loving that.
Yeah, I'm happy about it.
Did anybody comment on your post about?
No, I get no credit for any of that. I mean, it's tough. I don't know. I by saying stuff about
nobodies. You forget
4
that.
years ago. I mean, our Twitter, we got over 1,000 followers. I mean,
never enough money for the university. I understand, but yeah, there's got to be a way to make it better. At this point,
maybe this online stuff will help them a little bit anyway. Like, maybe the fans will actually.
Brad's just going to keep talking them up, though. That's the thing. Like, if your coach is happy, do you think they care about anybody else?
Well, I have a message for Brad Underwood. Get the fuck out of the way. So,
all right.
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay.
They're lucky I went like level 1 there. I could have gone.
That was pretty mild for you. So, player of the game, I'm going to go with Marez Johnson. I hope he enjoys number 21 before he gets retired forever when Kofi comes on February 11th. So, 35 minutes, 5 for 8, 5 for 9 from the line, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, an assist, 3 blocks. He was all over the place. I think he was the first guy on the floor the first time the ball went down on the floor. He, like you said, he guarded Martinelli really well. 7 for 19 shooting for Martinelli. They let him shoot some threes. Martinelli went 3 of 9 from 3. So about his average, I think. He said he was like 40%. That's 33. Close. So I think they were giving that up. But I like Brad's idea of, putting him on, a wing like that rather than Hummer trying to handle it. So I think this is a really big stepping stone for Marez and what he can do. He's so quick defensively, even guarding guys like Martinelli and smaller guys. So really happy to see what he did in this game.
Well, I wonder what number he'll switch to. Yeah, maybe 11. Oh, wait, Io. Damn it.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Are there any numbers available? They're all retired.
Yeah, that's tough. 11's gone. 0's gone. Damn, that's unfortunate. We'll have to figure that out. I guess it's weird they let Io. What number did D Brown wear? What did D Brown wear? 11?
Yeah.
It's weird that they let Io wear that. Weird. And number 5. How's anybody allowed to wear number 5?
Was D Brown ever is D Brown in the rafters?
I mean,
was he an All-American?
How could he have not been? He played like 2 years on really good teams.
Was he an All-American? I don't remember.
I feel like he would have been, right?
It seems like he should have been. I don't know.
I looked up the wrong D Brown. Hold on. Yeah, he was 2-time All-American. What are we talking about?
Okay, all right.
You
just
should
like Kobe.
know that. That's crazy that you would know that.
I don't remember stuff.
That's just an excuse.
Yeah, he was, obviously.
Yeah, 2-time All. I mean, that's so obvious.
2 times. Why would you think he wouldn't be an All-American, Ethan?
He was Big Ten Player of the Year in 05.
Really?
Yeah.
Wasn't even the best player on the team. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
College level, absolutely.
Who is your player of the game?
My player of the game is Luther Head. Oh, whoops, Jake Davis.
It's kind of
Jake
the same
Davis,
game.
very similar. I think the Houston Rockets will have Jake Davis on their team next year. 16 minutes, 4 of 7 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 11 points, 3 rebounds. You said he tapped a bunch out.
Yeah, he was
with rebounding.
very active on the boards. He only got 3 rebounds, but it felt like he was involved in multiple.
Good game. I mean, you make 3 threes, starting to figure out his shot a little bit. Obviously, a guy that I think is very capable of 35 to 40% in a full season. He's shooting 34% right now. And if you look at the past 3 games, he is 5 for, what is that? 7, 13, 5 of 13, which is 38%. We'll take that. Hopefully he keeps this little shooting stretch going. But he continues to play a big role. I mean, this is a guy who didn't play against Oakland, didn't play against Alabama, 6 minutes against Arkansas, 2 minutes against Northwestern the first time, 5 against Wisconsin, 6 against Tennessee, 3 minutes against Missouri. And since then, and Michigan State game, he only played 5 minutes, and Washington only played 9, but double-digit minutes in every game since. You look over the past 6 games, he played 12 minutes against Penn State, 15 against USC, 19 against Indiana, 5 against Michigan State. That's the outlier. 12 against Maryland, 16 against Northwestern. So continues to improve. I think he just does a lot of good things. And if you can have him on the floor where he's not in a bad defensive matchup, it doesn't become somewhat of a liability on that end, you're in a great spot. And I think people try to compare Hummer and Goody. I think Jake Davis is more of like the Goody type replacement off the bench. At least like sophomore year Goody, I would say. Because last year Goody did start quite a bit, didn't he? I might be getting him mixed up with
something. I don't know if he started a lot, but
okay, he didn't. He started like 8 games, I guess, when Shannon was out. But I must have gotten him mixed up with somebody. I don't know.
Sure.
Ty Rogers. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of the same player. Also, yeah.
They both can shoot.
I don't know what you said because my dog is out of control and chewing up my shoes.
Are we to the point where we want more Jake and less Will? Is something I haven't said yet?
Okay. No.
I don't even think there's a comp. They can both play 15 minutes and it's fine.
I'm just saying, like, Will Riley
missing a guy right now. That's the thing. They're missing a guy.
Numbers up.
But. Yeah, they're missing a guy. So those guys both have to play.
Yeah. Jake Davis, I felt like he played more this game than Will Riley. The numbers tell me differently, but
yeah. Well, Will Riley played a lot of garbage time and fucked up a lot. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah. Brad said of Jake Davis, he's a consummate role player right now, understands what we do. IQ wise, he is up there. Great feel, great instincts, and has always been a great shooter. He understands the game and creates great angles and opportunities. He said that every time he shoots it, he thinks it's going in. So high praise from Brad. I think a lot of Illinois fans were going to doubted Jake Davis, and I think that he's proven me wrong.
I think people were looking at it from the wrong angle, though. They weren't thinking about like expectations and he's only a sophomore. It feels like he's a senior.
Yeah, I didn't know he would be this easily plug and play at this point, I guess. Like, I thought it'd take him a little while to get there.
He's Cam Spencer, except better right now.
And cooler hair. So
I think if he got rid of the ponytail and went to what he was playing with last year, he would probably be shooting 40% from 3 right now instead of 34.
Yeah. Bergie says numbers are not retired at Illinois. They are honored. You didn't get the joke.
Ha! Not in on it. You think we're stupid enough to not have that as a joke? Come on.
Rest of the team, KJ played 35 minutes, 5 for 10, 1 for 5 from 3, misses only free throw, 11 points, 10 rebounds from KJ, 7 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, only 3 turnovers. I know only is a strong word for 3 turnovers, but him and Boswell only combined for 6, where they had 12 in the last game. So that's good. KJ said that he's still trying to work on not turning the ball over. He still thinks 3 is too much. So it's nice to see those guys kind of make smarter plays.
He's got to get a shot back. He's one for 11 last 3 from 3.
Yeah, you said that arm brace isn't affecting him. Maybe it is.
He went 3 for 7 in his first game back.
That's true. It's true.
I just think it's a little bit of a slump, and he'll probably make 5 of them tomorrow night.
Yeah. But yeah, again, was he the leading rebounder? Yeah, leading rebounder on the team. So
yeah.
He kind of made a comment like, sometimes the ball just comes to you. So that is a lot of rebounding, but
21 offensive rebounds in this game.
Yeah, insane. Sometimes KJ throws the ball to nobody and the guys manage to save it. It's also true.
I've never seen that, but okay.
What's more impressive, a triple-double or a 33-point game?
Triple-double.
I would agree. It means you're filling up that.
You have to actually play basketball to get a triple-double.
Yeah.
You can stand around and shoot all day like Jack Golke at Oakland last year for 33 points. That's literally the evidence I would point to. Is his game against Kentucky in the tournament. That's not basketball. That guy's probably like an accountant right now.
It's true.
I think he might be in the G League, but whatever.
Boswell played 28 minutes. He was 4 of 8. Missed all 3 of his threes. Got to the line this game, though. 9 for 10 from the line, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. Like I already said, he had 3 turnovers. And I think he made every layup. He had 3 layups. He made them all. That's
exciting.
Deserves a clap from me. So
he was the MVP of this game, according to KenPom.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, he was 17
How many points did he have? I didn't even write that down.
17 points. Yeah.
So
lead scorer in the game. 9 of 10 from the free throw line. I think the one he missed was the last one he shot.
Yeah, and again, Boswell pulling down 6 boards. Smallest guy out there is.
I mean, plus 23 in the glass. I mean, that's just dominant, and that's what they should be doing to everybody based on the numbers. Did you see that grid, that chart of rebounding? And Illinois was like way away from everybody else. And even when you go to rebound rate, which probably matters more, it was just Illinois and Michigan State. So
yeah, pretty good. Big Hummer, 29 minutes, 4 for 12, 4 for 9 from 3. He had 14 points, 2 for 2 from the line, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 block. Brad's still trying to back him down. I don't know if that's the play here, but he did it at the beginning of the game, I think, and Hummer hit it off the back iron, and then I think the beginning of the second half, he might have left it short. It just doesn't look very fluid. Like Marcus Damask looked fluid under there. Damask's footwork was so good. I don't think Hummer has that. But you need Hummer to knock down threes. Hummer knocked down threes. I thought his defense was fine. He had a block in this game. People are going to say that he didn't play good defense, but you know what? Screw you guys. Yeah. Trey White.
Yep.
21 minutes for Trey, 4 for 8. Missed all 3 of his threes also. 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Had a really nice around world pass to Merez for a dunk. 1 steal for Trey. I thought this was probably Trey's best game in the last 4, at least. So
yeah, it's fair. I mean, he needs to make a 3. He's so open.
Yeah, he does. And his form's funny, but it's got a nice tight rotation. He was making them earlier, but DGL played 19 minutes, 1 for 3, all threes, 3 points, 0 for 2 from the line, 4 rebounds, 2 assists. DGL was good too. And then Will, 17 minutes, 2 for 9, 0 for 3 from 3, 4 points, 5 rebounds. He did have 3 offensive boards. And Will had 3 turnovers this game,
including one that is one that's worth cutting him from the program.
that was a bad one. Relying a lot on mid-range jumpers right now. I know Brad said he's okay with him taking them, but he hasn't been able to knock them down. So I don't know. Will's in a slump, I would say, right now.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, sure.
Other notes and quotes: Illinois went 9 of 32 from 3 for a whopping 28%, which I guess is fine. if you take 32 of them.
If you make them early, you get a big lead.
Yep. Got to the line 24 times in this game. Northwestern only got there 6, and they had 18 assists on 29 field goals. And someone asked if KJ and Kylan were making strides to Brad Underwood, and Brad said,
"What kind of question is that?"
Brad said, "Quote: You think KJ has been bad making strides? An assist happens when you make a pass and they make the basket. KJ has been really good. Kylan has been really good all year. I thought we had better movement and created action better in attacking the paint. That, I mean, you got to admit, Brad kind of attacked KJ and Kylan about the turnovers. So I'm guessing that's why that question got asked. But yeah,
I think it's unfair
Brad
to
was not happy about it.
I think it's unfair to say that either one of them has been bad. It's not like Illinois is a team that turns the ball over a lot. The D1 average in turnover percentage on offense is 17.6%. So you take a look at that number, and then you look at what Illinois has done. So 17.6% is the turnover percentage, D1 average. Illinois turns the ball over 15.9% of the time, which is 80th in the country. So they're perfectly middle of the road, probably actually better than middle of the road when it comes to turnover percentage on offense. So I don't think the turnovers are a huge concern. I mean, you look at the game that they lost to USC, that's fair. They had a lot of them, 15. The game they lost to Michigan State, I wouldn't call turnovers a big issue. I mean, Boswell himself had 5. The rest of the team had 5 outside of him. So it was almost even. And then the Maryland game, I don't think turnovers are a reason why they got their asses kicked on the defensive end. Obviously, KJ had way more than you'd like, and Kylan had 5. But 16 turnovers against Maryland is not why they lost. But the game definitely would have been closer had they not. But it's not fair to call this team turnover prone, because in the Underwood era, the last 2 years of the 2 best teams he's ever had at not turning the ball over on offense. And you're muted right now, so
that's what happens when you run, is you turn the ball over. I mean, Brad says it all the time.
Yeah, and each year they were 203rd in turnover percentage in his first year, 161st, 102nd, 128th, 154th, 207th. Last year they're 52nd. This year they're 80th. So I don't think turnovers are a huge concern. They might be against teams that turn teams over, and you have to adjust to that. But there's not a ton of those in the Big Ten.
Yeah. Jay says the biggest problem is the 3 ball. They eventually just have to make shots at least over 30%, or they got to shoot 40 of them.
Well, last year's team shot 35%, so I'd like to be somewhere close to that.
Yeah, I mean, this team's ceiling is a lot higher if they can get it up there to 35%. So
currently 258th in the country in 3-point percentage.
Ooh, not good, especially when you take over 30 a game. Are they? I saw they're like the number 1 shooting 3-point team in the Big Ten, and they're like second to last in percentage or something. So
yeah, well, what can you do?
Yeah. A couple quotes from Brad in the post game. Quote: "Played with an edge. I thought we responded to playing without Tommy. We talked a lot about our edge. We knew we had to make some little adjustments. I was told we have this is interesting. I was told we had the number 1 defense with Tommy and Merez on the court together, and we were working to getting that lineup before the sickness," which is interesting because he bragged about Hummer being the top-rated defender for like the first 17 games or whatever. And now he's saying that when Hummer's off the court and Merez is in his place, they're better defensively. So
yeah, well,
rip my boy.
He says stuff.
Yeah. And then he said, quote, "I'm more bullish than I've ever been. I'm not afraid to say it. We can be Final Four good, but we need to be whole to do that. We have played half the conference season without guys. We are a better team than we are when we played Alabama and Tennessee. It has been hiccup or speed bump, whatever you want to call it, to have key pieces out. It's just part of the process, but I think our ceiling is really high." Has Brad ever said that they could be a Final Four team? Did he say that last year?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Maybe he just said Elite Eight
I
last
think
year.
he says it every year.
That's good. And then again, he has no clue on when Tommy could be back. He said that from what he knows about mono, it could be 2 to 3 weeks to 2 months.
Well, the fact that they're ruling him out for tomorrow tells me that it's still a thought that, hey, it's not impossible.
It sounds like it's progressing better than what they.
Well, I don't think that they would announce that he's out tomorrow like they did. I don't think they would.
I think
that
I assume somebody asked is why.
I guess, which is stupid.
I mean, yeah, I don't see him. What's Illinois' schedule look like?
He'll be back. I project he'll be back by Michigan State, February 15th.
Yeah,
that's 3 weeks.
3 weeks from when he first got it. Yeah,
that's over 3 weeks from when he first got it.
Yeah,
allegedly.
I heard people say they're hoping Minnesota, but I don't know if that's possible. So,
yeah,
but yeah, got to keep winning without him. So, on to the next one.
Nebraska, Illinois in Lincoln, Nebraska tomorrow night, 7:30 FS1. Illinois dropped from 17 to 18 in the AP poll. They're 14-6, 6-4 in the Big Ten. Nebraska 12-8, 2-7 in the Big Ten. They returned a few players from last year. They made the tournament last year, obviously, but Tominaga is gone. I think Rink Mast is hurt. He's coming back next year, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I could have my years mixed up, but who knows?
I'll look.
They have a lot of transfers who are in there, so something to consider. Brad Underwood is 10-2 at Illinois against Nebraska. They've won 9 in a row against Nebraska. He's 8-0 against Fred Hoiberg, who first became the head coach in 2019-20. Not an indictment on Nebraska. Nebraska has very much improved over the last few years. We'll get to that in a minute. The last meeting between the two was in the Big Ten semifinals last year. If you remember, Nebraska had like a 15-point lead early second half, and Illinois came storming back to take them down. However, Nebraska has dropped 6 straight, and they haven't won since beating UCLA on January 4th. A few gigantic blowout losses in Big Ten play. They lost by 28 at Wisconsin, by 36 at Purdue, and by 37 at Michigan State. Home loss in the Big Ten. They lost to USC by 5, Rutgers by 3, and they beat Indiana in December by 17 at home. Hoiberg at Nebraska, first 3 seasons, they went 9-50 in the Big Ten. Last 3 seasons, 23-26. They're 2-7 this season, so they were 21-19 going into this season of the Big Ten. So obviously, he has turned things around a little bit at Nebraska. They're definitely in a better place than they were.
Yeah.
Projected lineups, obviously, some obvious stuff here.
There's nothing obvious about this crap you put on my screen.
Well, if you can decipher it, it's Sam Hoiberg at the 1.
No.
He played 29 minutes.
Sam Hoiberg's in the middle of this thing.
He's at the 1. 29 minutes in the last game. He had an offensive rating of 145. He's 6 foot, 185-pound junior. He shot 2 for 3 from 3, I believe, if I'm deciphering this correctly.
Okay.
I can check my thing here. Yeah, 2 for 3 from 3. Boom. Didn't shoot a free throw. He had 2. Wait, is this right? Okay, 2 defensive rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover. This is what I'm looking at, by the way. That right there at the top is what I'm looking at. And then at the 2 will be, I guess, Juwan Gary, 6'6", 226-pound senior. Wears number 4, as you can see. 29 minutes, struggled in their last game. Let me check my stuff here. 5 points, that says 1 for 7 from the field, 1 for 5, or 1 for 7 from 2, 1 for 5 from 3. Had 3 offensive rebounds, 6 defensive rebounds, 9 total, 7. Whoa, where did this 7 come from? I'm lost. Hang on. That's the other guy. Okay, we're back. 1 turnover, no assists. Then they have Bryce Williams, 6'7", 214-pound senior. Kind of their go-to guy in a lot of ways. 28 minutes in this game against Wisconsin. He had 11 points on 4 of 12 shooting, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 1 offensive rebound, 2 defensive rebounds, 2 assists, 4 turnovers for him. He also had a block. I don't know if you can decipher that there.
I can't decipher anything on that thing.
And then, well, you got to think.
Quit trying.
Burke Bayuk Tunsil, I don't even know. Played 30 minutes, had 7 points, 6 rebounds, a block, and a steal. He's transferred from UCLA. And they have Andrew Morgan at the 5, played 22 minutes, 5 points for him. 6'10", 242-pound senior. Where's the rest of this? I think I left something off with him, but there you go. Pretty much deciphered it perfectly. Bayou Tunsil wears number 9. Hoiberg wears number 1. Morgan wears 23. Williams wears 3. Gary wears 4. It's right in front of their name. Perfectly deciphered. I'd like to see the CIA take a stab at that. Nebraska is 120th in bench minutes percentage. They also have a Season, of course, the Wisconsin transfer, and Raleigh Worcester played 20-plus minutes against Wisconsin off the bench, and Braxton Mia did not play. He played 12 minutes against USC, didn't play in their last game. So we'll see what's going on there. He's a transfer from Washington. So kind of a trade. Braxton Mia from Washington to Nebraska, and then a couple years, of course, Wilhelm Breidenbach from Nebraska to Washington. So very exciting.
Yeah. You were right about Rick Massey. Underwent left knee surgery, out for the season.
So he'll be back next year at the age of 35. Adjusted offensive efficiency in the country, Illinois 23rd. They're 8th in defensive efficiency. Nebraska 86th on the offensive side, 38th on the defensive side. In the Big Ten and Big Ten play, Illinois is 9th in offensive efficiency, 3rd in defensive efficiency. And then Nebraska, this is why they're 2-7. They're 17th on offense, 16th on defense. So amongst the worst in the conference there. Illinois is shooting 17th in three-point percentage in Big Ten play, brutal, and Nebraska 16th. So neither of these teams has been knocking down triples. And then, of course, rebounding is where Illinois really has the edge. On the offensive side, offensive rebounding, Illinois is 2nd. And then when it comes to defending, when it comes to not allowing offensive rebounds, Illinois is 1st in the Big Ten, while Nebraska 17th in offensive rebound percentage, 8th on the other end. In Big Ten play, Illinois is 3rd in three-point attempts per field goal attempts, which is a little surprising. I would have thought it'd be a little more. But Nebraska is 6th in that stat. And then average height, Illinois 10th, Nebraska 34th. So both teams have the height. I mean, you look at this team, they got 2 6'10" guys starting. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think their 2 big starting is anywhere close to, Derek Queen and Julian Reese, but these Andrew Morgan's a senior and Bayuk Tunsil is obviously a talented player. They took him at UCLA last year, so something to consider.
Got to rebound the ball. Jay says Nebraska will usually give you the 3, yet doesn't like giving up 2s. Illinois reverse game plan.
Yeah.
Players to watch. I'm going with Kasparis this game. I'm not sure Nebraska really has a defensive guy that can contain him. I expect him to.
Gary.
I don't think Juwan Gary can contain him.
He's good, though.
He's good. He's not great.
A lot of injuries.
But I think that I think it'll be a big game for Kasparis. And then I went with the guy coming off the bench, as you say, Connor Seagen, I believe Wisconsin transfer, right?
Yep.
The games that I've watched of Nebraska are games where Connors came in and had good games, and that's the games they seem to fight in and have a chance in. So you can't let him get hot from 3. He shoots at almost 41% from 3. Averaging 11 points per game off the bench, which is pretty good. And he's just one of those annoying little white guys that, you don't like to see Duke
Iowa
basketball.
Duke types.
Yep. So
maybe Nebraska should work on their defense because teams are shooting 38% against them from 3 in Big Ten play, which is last. So
it's not good. And
they're also 200-something in the country overall this season in 3-point. So if Illinois can make some threes, this could get ugly. I'm going Ben Humrickowski line. I am Bryce Williams for Nebraska. Nebraska is long at the wing position. I mean, Williams and Gary, both guys that are over 6'6". I mean, 6'6" for Gary and 6'7" for Williams. Hummer, who's he going to match up against? Probably going to match up against one of the 2 6'10" guys. But
I was going to say whoever doesn't shoot threes well.
I
think we figured that out by now.
Bryce Williams, good old player. His first season of college basketball at Charlotte was in 2019-20, which was Hoiberg's first season at Nebraska. So he's been around, and have to guard him. Predictions.
Good job by me. I'm going to go Illinois wins this one 85-72. Or if you look at the little ticker, 0-0.
All right. I'm going 81-71. The Illini get it done. Need a win like this just to get it done, and then you play Ohio State on Sunday.
Yeah.
A couple things from around the Big Ten and college basketball. Michigan State and Purdue continue to roll. A lot being said online about Michigan State's Big Ten schedule. They have defeated Minnesota, Nebraska, Ohio State, Washington, Northwestern, Penn State, Illinois, Rutgers, and Minnesota. Again, there's no doubt that Michigan State has had a fairly easy schedule in the Big Ten. And really, their schedule overall is not too bad. They have a stretch of Illinois, Purdue, Michigan, Maryland, Wisconsin that won't be easy. But overall, they've gotten a good schedule. But you still have to win. I don't think they're a wildly impressive team, but they are 9-0 in the Big Ten. I think they're good. I don't think they have the highest ceiling. I don't think you can be a 29% three-point shooting team and be a really high ceiling team. They make free throws and they're good from 2, but they're not good enough from 3.
And that, they gave up no points to Minnesota in the first 10 minutes of that game, 8 minutes, 12 minutes, whatever, and they were still only up 8 until Holloway hit 3 threes in a row.
Until you said something, and then they went
that's
plus 13 in the next 10 minutes.
Sure, but I mean, they're good. I think that they're taking advantage of their schedule. I mean, Illinois, the losses they haven't been good. Michigan State's found ways to win them all, so I still got to win games.
Yeah, I think I'd be pretty comfortable saying Purdue's better than them. So,
is Illinois better than them?
I don't know. I think when both teams are at their best, Illinois is better, but that doesn't really matter because they're not always at their best. So
it's true.
I think Illinois does beat them when they play again, but it remains to be seen.
It's because of the Orange Crush, but
yeah, maybe they'll actually wake up for a game. Fucking losers. Purdue. I don't know if Purdue's continuing to roll, but Purdue is, coming off a loss. They beat Michigan by 27, so they're 8-2 in the Big Ten. That Ohio State loss is really tough, but 8-2 is still good. Braden Smith's been really good this year. He's having a big time year. Just the numbers, the assist numbers are off the charts. I mean, the guy's got, if you look in this calendar year, Purdue has played 8 games, and Braden Smith has. Hold on. I got to do some math here. Give me a second, folks. 30, 45, 50, 57. Wait, hold on. 14 plus 14 is 28 plus 10 is 38 plus 7 is 45. Then 50, 57, 65. He's got 75 assists in 8 Big Ten games in the calendar year. 75 assists in 8 Big Ten games, including back-to-back games where he had 14. So he's averaging almost 10 assists per game in Big Ten play. Or not, I guess not in Big Ten play, but Big Ten calendar year play. If you look at Big Ten play as a whole, it's what did I say? He had 75 assists, right? He's averaging flat 9 in Big Ten play. So he's having a good year. Good for him. That's great. Some NCAA tournament stuff for the Big Ten right now. I think you can comfortably say Michigan State, Purdue, Wisconsin, Illinois, Maryland are in right now for sure. Oregon as well. UCLA is probably going to be there, and then your teams that need to be better: Indiana, Ohio State. Certainly, Penn State being 3-7 killed them. They're a team that has pretty good metrics for a team that's 3-7 in the conference. And obviously the teams that don't matter at all are Washington, Minnesota. I guess Nebraska and Northwestern can kind of be somewhere in that realm as well. Not the same, but close enough. But the Big Ten, I think this year, I think it's safe to say they'll get at least 8 would be what I would say. Maybe 7, but at least 6, I think, are locks right now. Like Maryland has good metrics. They're 6-4 in the conference. They have a road win at Illinois. Like that's enough. They're going to get in. So 6
Will it
locks
be
right
weird if the Big Ten gets in less teams, adding more teams than they do? I mean, it's what do they usually at 7, 8 ish?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
We'll see. I don't know. I mean, Indiana's got to be better.
yeah. The Big Ten hasn't looked spectacular, that's for sure.
Well, a conference that's about 100 times worse is the Atlantic Coast Conference, the ACC, which is having one of its worst years of all time, probably. Just a horrendous basketball conference. North Carolina is a big part of that. North Carolina is 13-9. They're 6-4 in the conference. They are on KenPom with the metrics, 39th in the country. They have lost 3 of 4, including 2 losses to Stanford and Wake Forest, both not very good teams. And they lost to Stanford in Chapel Hill. Like, that's inexcusable. They also boast a loss to Kansas, which is fine. They lost to Auburn. That's fine. Lost to Michigan State. That's fine. They got blown out by Alabama in Chapel Hill. They lost in a semi-home game against Florida. They lost by 13 at Louisville. Last night, 8-point loss at Pitt. They got Duke coming up this Saturday. North Carolina's bad. I think Hubert Davis, I think that's over. I think he's kind of, I made the national championship game. That's fine, but they just haven't been good enough since. Especially when you're returning guys too, and whatever. RJ Davis being back, and they're just not good. And Louisville's ceiling, it's been a really good year 1 for Pat Kelsey. Like they've really turned this thing around. They've won 10 games in a row. Not a hard schedule, but they beat Pitt on the road. They took care of business against Clemson, who's also 9-1 in the conference. Duke's obviously the undefeated one. They don't play Duke at all, so they could end up with a really, really good record in conference play. Wouldn't surprise me if they went, 18-2 or something. Go 18-2 in the ACC and finish second. Like that's a real possibility. The remaining schedule is Georgia Tech, Boston College, Miami, NC State, Notre Dame, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Pitt, Cal, and Stanford. They will be the favorite in the rest of their games. As for their ceiling, I actually think Louisville has a pretty high ceiling, even though the conference isn't very good. But Pat Kelsey's a good coach. This team is 6th in the country in Division I experience, so they are old. They have guards who played each other in the tournament last year. Terrence Edwards was at James Madison. Chucky Hepburn was at Wisconsin. James Madison beat Wisconsin in the first round. Those guys have played tournament basketball. They're going to be without Keyshawn Pryor, who I believe Illinois was interested in at one point, South Florida transfer. I said he was the worst basketball player of all time. It was a joke. Louisville fans got mad that he tore his ACL. I apologize. It's probably not my fault, but, whatever. And he brought guys with him from Charleston. Like James Scott is a guy who's taken a big step in year 2 of his career at Louisville. So I wouldn't sleep on Louisville just because they're coming from a bad conference. One thing they need to be better at is 3-point shooting. They're 31%. That's 273rd in the country. They got to be better there, but they do a lot of things really well, and they take a ton of threes. So 3rd in the country they are at 3-point attempts per field goal attempts. And in conference play, they've pretty clearly been the second best team to me. I mean, they're 2nd in the conference play in offensive efficiency, 3rd in defense. So, and they don't turn the ball over, at least against bad ACC teams, that is. And their losses are good losses. They lost to Tennessee. That's fine. I mean, they did get killed, but, whatever. It's early. Neutral against Oklahoma is not that bad. They lost Ole Miss and Duke. They already played Duke, I should have said. I missed that. They lost by 11 to Duke at home, and then they lost to Kentucky on the road. So Louisville has some respect again. They didn't have that under Kenny Payne. They have it now. St. John's is 18-3, 9-1 in the Big East while shooting 29.8% from 3, which is 331st in the country. And they have an offensive efficiency ranking that is 64th. That's why I would kind of say, I know St. John's has the talent, but I think Louisville might have a ceiling that's higher potentially than St. John's. Obviously, Rick Pitino coached at both places. So the Big East is not very good. The Big East is Marquette, and it's St. John's, and then you never know what you're going to get from Creighton, UConn, or Xavier. So I'm never going to doubt UConn, but their defense has to be better. Their teams are shooting 37% from 3 against them.
When does what's his face come back?
McNeely?
Yeah.
It should be soon. I would think he might be back for the St. John's game on the 7th. Maybe he's back for the Marquette game on the road. Or I know he's been practicing a little bit, so he could be back tonight. I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
Okay.
But they definitely need him back. He's an NBA guy, potential lottery guy.
Yeah.
And this team
Makes a
should not.
difference.
This team should not be 6-3 in conference. I know 6-3 in conference play isn't that bad, but they've lost 3 of 5, and their wins weren't that impressive. Like this team has Caravan back, they have Diarra back, Terrace Reed's a talented player, Aiden Mahaney coming from St. Mary's. It just hasn't worked. Just has not worked. He's been just not good in a lot of areas and hasn't played very. It's tough, but I won't count them out. The Big 12 right now. Houston's 8-0, Arizona's 8-1, Iowa State's 7-2, Texas Tech is 6-2, Kansas has 3 losses, Baylor and BYU have 4 losses. Battle of the lottery picks last night. VJ Edgecombe and Yegor Demine. They both played pretty well. At least Edgecombe had a really good game. 93-89 win for BYU in overtime. Edgecombe just a stud. I texted you about how good he was. You didn't say anything. That's fine. 28 points, 4 rebounds.
I didn't see it till this morning. My bad.
He's really good. I mean, he shot 6 for 8 from 3 last night. So tough for Baylor. Baylor 5-4 in conference play, and they shot 46% from 3 on the road last night. Made 13 of them and lost in overtime. Yegor last night had 15, 2 and 6, 4 turnovers on 5 of 10 shooting. So he had a good game as well. Colorado's 0-9. They haven't won a game since December 21st. Cincinnati comes back down to earth. Cincinnati was once a top 10 metrics team about a month ago. They've come back down to earth. They're like, 2-7 in conference play or something? They're not there. Yeah, 2-7. And then Kansas State. I root for Coleman Hawkins, but man, things have not been good at Kansas State this year. They are 2-9 since December 7th. And then you got Wisconsin at Maryland tonight, Houston at West Virginia tonight, Alabama, Mississippi State tonight, and then Purdue, Indiana Friday night. I'm looking forward to Purdue, Indiana. Big spot for Indiana, but I think Purdue's going to beat it.
I think Purdue beats them by 15.
I thought you were going to say 50. If you said 50, I'd agree. I don't think 15 is enough, but it's a big one for Indiana. Where's the game at?
It's at Purdue, I believe. Blackout at Purdue.
Didn't Indiana beat them at Purdue a couple years ago?
Yeah.
With Jalen Hood-Schifino?
I think Painter's going to have this team up the rest of the season, especially at home.
Indiana beat Purdue February 25th, 2023, 79-71. Jalen Hood-Schifino had 35, 7 and 2, and just torched him. I remember mid-range.
Yeah.
So, all right, that'll do it for us. We'll be back after the game. Probably watch party Sunday again, I guess.
Okay.
And yeah, we'll be back Friday, I guess.
Friday, we'd have to do it. You got to work Friday?
No.
Yeah, might have to do it before lunch.
Keep an eye out for that. Follow the Twitter podcast line. Orange Crush. Woo! We'll see you. Underwood.
Thin ice!